stop and slowly continued moving deeper into the park. This area was home to many herbivorous dinosaurs that roamed freely. Among them were the three-horned Triceratops, the large-plated Stegosaurus, and the long-necked Brachiosaurus. All of these dinosaurs were peaceful creatures. But suddenly an alert sounded inside the tour car. It informed them that a system malfunction had occurred and the car would automatically return to the hotel. But the older brother did not want to return. Moreover, both boys were the nephews of Clara, the park's operations manager. Because of this, they had special access wristbands. Using this access, the older brother directly took control of the system and continued driving deeper into the park with his younger brother. Meanwhile, Clara suddenly remembered her nephews. She immediately tried to call the older one, but at that exact moment, the network went down. Panicking, she quickly asked the staff whether all the tour cars had returned. After checking, they discovered that one tour car was still missing. That car belonged to her two nephews. Clara became extremely worried and immediately called for a rescue team. However, the rescue team was already busy. With no other choice, she went to Owen and asked for his help. Meanwhile, the two brothers had reached the end of the park's tour area. There they noticed that the fence ahead had been broken by something powerful. Seeing a path forward, the older brother drove the car inside. After some time, they reached a dense forest area. Several Ankylosaurus were roaming there. At first, they could only see 4 of them, but the younger brother insisted that there were 5, so the older brother began counting carefully again. Soon they realized that the shadow they had seen in the windshield was not the 5th dinosaur. It was actually the Indominus Rex standing right behind them. The creature had quietly approached the car. Suddenly, it let out a loud roar and kicked the car. The powerful strike sent the vehicle flying several feet away. Just as the older brother tried to react, the massive tail of an Ankylosaurus struck the car and knocked it aside. The Indominus Rex believed the Ankylosaurus was trying to take its prey, so it immediately attacked it. A fierce battle began between the two giant creatures. When the Indominus tried to bite the Ankylosaurus, its teeth struggled against the dinosaur's thick armor. Enraged, it used its sharp claws to stab the Ankylosaurus deeply in the back. Finally, it flipped the creature over and killed it with a powerful strike. Seeing this, both brothers trembled with fear. At that very moment, Clara's phone rang again. The sound of the phone caught the attention of the Indominus. It slowly noticed the two boys hiding inside the car. After staring at them for a moment, it grabbed the car with its claws. Then it opened its massive mouth and tried to swallow it whole. When that did not work, the creature used a more brutal method. It gripped the car with its teeth and slammed it violently against the ground. The glass was about to shatter. At that moment, the older brother quickly unbuckled his seatbelt. He grabbed his younger brother and jumped out of the car. But their movement did not escape the sharp eyes of the Indominus. The creature immediately began chasing them. Luckily, a small waterfall was just ahead, but as soon as they reached near it, the Indominus opened its massive mouth. Just then, the two brothers escaped the Indominus by jumping into the waterfall at the right moment. At the same time, Clara also arrived in the jungle. However, she soon realized that the situation had become much worse. The bodies of dinosaurs killed by the Indominus were scattered everywhere. This made Owen even more certain that the Indominus would not leave any creature alive. After some time, they found the tour car in which the two brothers had been traveling. But when Clara saw the broken vehicle and the mobile phone lying on the ground, she feared that the Indominus had eaten her nephews. She was completely devastated. Just then, Owen noticed a set of footprints on the ground. The tracks seemed to lead toward the waterfall. When they reached the spot, Owen realized that the boys were probably still alive and had escaped through the waterfall. Hearing this gave Clara a small sense of relief. However, at the same time, the staff in the control room discovered something alarming. Because of the park's emergency alarm, more than 20,000 people had gathered in the resort area. The Indominus was now rapidly moving toward the resort to hunt. It was clear that a massive disaster was about to happen. With no other option left, the park owner finally decided to use heavy weapons. Due to a shortage of staff, the owner himself flew a helicopter and set out to hunt the Indominus. Once the team located the dinosaur, they immediately opened fire on it. The intense gunfire forced the Indominus to run wildly into the territory of the flying dinosaurs. This suddenly disturbed dozens of flying creatures, which began to panic and scatter across the island. In the chaos, one of the soldiers firing from the helicopter was suddenly grabbed by a flying dinosaur and pulled away. Another soldier died when one of the creatures crashed into the helicopter's glass. The helicopter slowly lost control and began falling toward the ground. In the crash, the park owner, played by Irfan Khan, lost his life. At the same time, many flying dinosaurs started heading toward the park. Seeing them approach, Owen quickly ran into the jungle with Clara. Meanwhile, the two brothers were trying to escape the jungle using an abandoned car. Suddenly, the younger brother noticed the winged dinosaurs chasing them. Sensing danger, he urged his older brother to drive faster. Eventually, they managed to reach the park's main entrance gate, where the staff spotted them. After receiving the message about her nephews, Clara and Owen also left the jungle. They found a vehicle and decided to head toward the resort. Meanwhile, all the rides in the park were immediately shut down. Visitors were instructed to stay inside the resort area. Just then, an emergency announcement was broadcast, asking everyone to take shelter helter-skelter. At first, people were confused and did not understand what was happening. But when they looked up and saw the flying dinosaurs in the sky, they quickly realized the danger. Panic spread everywhere, and people began running in different directions. However, the flying dinosaurs were extremely fast. They quickly reached the crowd and started attacking. Soon, terrified screams echoed throughout the entire park. Meanwhile, the two brothers reached the resort and ran into Clara's assistant. Unfortunately, just as the assistant was about to guide them to safety, a winged dinosaur suddenly grabbed her and threw her into the lake. The flying creatures did not realize that the lake belonged to the Mosasaurus. They dove into the water and continued attacking the woman. Seeing this, the two brothers were completely shocked. They believed she was already dead. As the winged dinosaurs tried to fly away again, the Mosasaurus suddenly burst out of the water. It opened its massive mouth and swallowed the woman along with one of the dinosaurs. Terrified by this sight, the two brothers quickly searched for a place to hide. Just then, the security team arrived and fired tranquilizer guns. This forced the flying dinosaurs to retreat for a short time. For a moment, the resort area finally felt a little safer. However, the situation was about to become even worse. As soon as a military officer arrived, he took control of the situation. At the first opportunity, he revealed his real plan. He wanted to hunt the dangerous dinosaur with the help of the raptors. His goal was to prove that the raptors could be used as weapons for the military. When Owen learned about this plan, he immediately rushed over and angrily punched the officer. Owen had raised those raptors since they were young and did not want to send them on such a dangerous mission. However, the lives of more than 20,000 people in the park were now in danger. After thinking carefully, Owen was finally forced to agree to the mission. They decided to track and capture the Indominus Rex. The plan was to let the raptors use their powerful sense of smell to locate the Indominus. The soldiers would follow behind them and attack with heavy weapons at the right moment. Meanwhile, Clara feared that the two brothers might wander off again, so she placed them inside a secure control vehicle. She sat in the front seat to monitor the entire operation. Once all the preparations were complete, Owen took a piece of flesh from the Indominus. He allowed the raptors to smell the meat. When the raptors were ready, Owen finally opened their cages. Armed soldiers then followed them into the jungle. The entire team quickly moved through the dense forest behind the raptors. After some time, the raptors suddenly stopped at a quiet and isolated spot. All the soldiers immediately became alert and aimed their weapons forward. However, none of them realized that something very unusual was about to happen. In the tense silence, a huge creature slowly emerged from the jungle. Within seconds, the Indominus Rex appeared in front of everyone. Owen had expected the trained raptors to attack the creature immediately, but surprisingly, the dinosaurs on both sides simply stared at each other. It looked as if some strange form of communication was taking place. Instead of attacking, the raptors simply revealed the presence of the humans to the Indominus. Seeing this, Owen sensed that something was wrong. He suddenly realized that the Indominus likely had raptor DNA mixed in its body. That was why it was able to communicate with the raptors in some way. The officer in the control room became terrified after seeing this. He immediately ordered all the soldiers to open fire. At that moment, the situation completely escalated. The very plan that was supposed to destroy the Indominus had now turned the raptors against the humans. When the soldiers saw the dinosaurs running into the jungle, they rushed after them. Within minutes, the entire team was nearly wiped out by the raptors. Clara was terrified after witnessing this disaster. Just then, a soldier who had barely escaped from the raptors arrived near them. However, as he was about to enter the car, a raptor suddenly attacked him from behind. Seeing this, the two brothers inside the car panicked. Realizing that the situation was getting worse, Clara immediately started the car and drove away quickly. But suddenly, another raptor came charging toward them from the other side. The car door was open, and the raptor could have reached them at any moment. In panic, they grabbed some containers lying nearby and began throwing them out of the car to block the raptor's path. However, the raptor easily avoided them and continued chasing the vehicle. Clara looked through the windshield and saw the raptor rapidly closing the distance. She quickly turned the steering wheel and crashed the car into it, knocking it aside. At that moment, another raptor approached the brothers from the opposite side. Terrified, they attacked it using electric batons. Just then, Owen arrived at the scene. Everyone quickly headed toward the control room. When the officer saw that the entire operation had failed, he did not become angry but instead seemed strangely satisfied. He then went directly to the laboratory. However, when Owen and the others arrived there, they were shocked to see that the staff had already escaped in a helicopter. Inside the doctor's private office, they finally discovered the real secret behind the Indominus's genes. The monster had been created by combining the DNA of dozens of different creatures. After this truth was revealed, the officer came forward. He openly admitted that the entire plan was his idea. He proudly claimed that he was the one responsible for creating such a dangerous creature. But before he could finish speaking, a group of raptors suddenly arrived there. In the next moment, one raptor rushed directly toward the officer. Terrified, the officer tried to react. However, the raptor immediately attacked him. Seeing this, Owen quickly escaped from the lab with Clara and the children. Suddenly, the three remaining raptors came running toward them and surrounded them. One of these raptors had blue stripes on its body. Its name was Blue, and it was the leader of the entire pack. Owen looked into its eyes and realized that it was not his enemy. Without hesitation, he carefully removed the control device from its head. Suddenly, the Indominus arrived with heavy footsteps and slowly began moving toward them. But what happened next was completely unexpected. The Indominus tried to command the raptors to attack the humans. However, Blue suddenly turned and looked at Owen as if remembering something. Instead of attacking the humans, Blue signaled Owen to run away. Then Blue turned toward the Indominus and roared angrily. Seeing this, the Indominus became even more furious. It swung its massive tail and threw Blue several meters away. But when the two other raptors saw their leader fighting, they immediately turned around and launched a fierce attack. However, their strength was nothing compared to the massive body and deadly power of the Indominus Rex. During the brutal battle, both raptors were quickly killed. At this critical moment, Clara suddenly had an idea. She immediately contacted her colleague in the control room. She instructed them to open enclosure number 9. They needed an even stronger dinosaur to defeat the Indominus. As soon as the enclosure opened, the original T-Rex, created 20 years earlier, stepped out. Clara cleverly lured the T-Rex toward the Indominus Rex. Soon, a massive battle began between the two giant predators. When the T-Rex faced this strange hybrid creature, it tried to remind the Indominus who the real king was. But during the intense fight, the difference in strength and the Indominus Rex's deadly claws slowly weakened the aging T-Rex. At that very critical moment, Blue returned and jumped back into the fight without hesitation. Blue's speed and agility distracted the Indominus Rex for a moment. This gave the T-Rex the opportunity to attack again. The T-Rex regained its balance and, together with Blue, launched a powerful assault on the Indominus Rex. Finally, with Blue's help, the T-Rex found the perfect opportunity. Using all its strength, it pushed the Indominus Rex toward the edge of the water. The impact of this massive collision immediately caught the attention of the true predator of the ocean. In the next moment, the giant Mosasaurus suddenly leaped out of the water. With lightning speed, it clamped its jaws around the neck of the Indominus Rex. The Mosasaurus then dragged the creature deep into the ocean. And with that, the Indominus Rex disappeared forever.
अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ गए जो दिन सहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा बेसर्द लगता है दिल का हर एक कोना अब बहुत ही दूर भरता है अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं ये जो दिन सुहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा सर्द लगता है दिल का हर एक कोना बहुत ही दर्द भरता है मेरे साए भी मुझसे अब जुदा होने को कहते हैं तुझे खोने की राहों में ये आंसू बहने लगते कहाँ ढूंढूं मेरा वो साजो सामा तो मेरी हर एक तमन्ना तू मेरी रूह का मका तू लकीरों में नहीं लिखा जो तुमने ख्वाब देखा था कहानी में फकत एक गम ही लिखा था सितारों से भी पूछता है पता तेरा कहाँ होगा मगर खामोश है दुनिया कहाँ मेरा जहाँ होगा बस एक बार मुड़ के देख ले मेरी बेबसी की सूरत मुझे है आज भी तेरी वफा की सख्त जरूरत साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर, दर्द का असर।